The strange, the bizarre, the unexpected. If Ripley's Believe It or Not had added a bus to its collection, it might have been this one. This is the story of the Citroën U55 Cityrama Currus. Truly one of the strangest buses of all time. Hi, this is Jeffrey. Now, we've all seen our fair share of strange, odd, and unusual buses, whether either in pictures or for real. Now, back in the 1950s, the Parisian tour company Cityrama wanted a new type of tour bus, but they didn't want any kind of a tour bus. They wanted something so different, so unusual, so outlandish that no one would ever forget it. And that's exactly what they got. A bus that is completely and totally unforgettable. And it came in the form of the Citroën U55 Cityrama Currus. And so that's what we're going to look at in this video. Now, there's not too much information out there on this bus, so I tried to do as much research as possible to bring you as much information as I can about this very unusual and mysterious bus. So let's get started in learning about the Citroën U55 Cityrama Currus bus. Here's the story of one of the most strangest yet visually fascinating buses ever built. And even to this day, they remain a big mystery. And what is this bus? It's the Citroën U55 Cityrama Currus. Back in the 1950s, Paris tour company Group Cityrama commissioned some of the weirdest buses that have now been seemingly lost to history. Unfortunately, there's very little information out there about these buses. As the story goes, Cityrama was launched in 1956 to provide tourism in Paris, France. As Paris is a big tourism city, Cityrama was entering into a very competitive market. Cityrama's plan to be different was to go big and bold. The tour group's sightseeing buses would be like nothing else ever seen before or since. Cityrama chose the Citroën T55 utility truck as the basis for its buses. These workhorses, introduced in 1953 and remaining in production until 1965, were the backbones for fire engines, flatbeds, and these wonderfully strange buses. The Type 55 chassis was the ideal choice for Jean-Louis Dubril, the founder of Cityrama, when he decided to modernize its open-top bus fleet. Now, let's take a look at some of the basic specifications of the Cityrama U55. Number 1. Chassis was the Citroën Type 55 utility truck, which had a payload of 5 tons and was available in 2x4 and 4x4 versions. Number 2. Chassis length was 9.075 meters or 29 feet 9 inches, which was the long wheelbase version of the Type 55. Number 3. Engines were either A. 4.6-liter gasoline 6 cylinders producing 73 horsepower, or B. 5.2-liter diesel 6-cylinder producing 86 horsepower. Number 4. The bus had a seating capacity of 50, of which 20 were on the top deck. Number 5. The glass manufacturer was Saint-Gobain, who still exists today. Number 6. There were 2 doors on the near side and 1 door at the rear on the far side. Number 7. It is known that only 5 to 10 of these buses were built, both in 1955 and 1957, of which the latter was known as the Cityrama II. Cityrama then took the Type 55 utility trucks to coachbuilder Currus, which developed them into the buses you see in this video. The design goals were to make a double-decker, mostly glass bus that looked like nothing else. Well, apparently, without doubt, they succeeded. For Dubril's futuristic project, Currus would build a double-decker bus with stylishly curved wraparound windows, like the famous Bateau Mouche, which are the long, open, often glass-covered tour boats. Coachbuilder Currus was a company founded in 1900, buying and then renaming the old carriage manufacturer Perrotin and Bollinger, and then in 1906 buying Chastel and David, another carriage manufacturer founded in 1805. By becoming their successor, Currus could proclaim itself the oldest vehicle body maker in France. Currus, by the way, is Latin for carriage. Currus had to overcome many technical problems. The structure had to be as light as possible and visibility at a maximum. Steel profiles and panels were used for the body. Curved glass was still in its infancy, and plexiglass was often used in its place. The roof was transparent and could be removed, so the upper deck could be used for open-air touring in the summer months. 2 more buses were built in 1957. The 1957 buses were an update model with 3 front grilles to help prevent the radiator overheating in the heavy Parisian traffic. The previously built buses were modified with grilles as well, so by that time they were all identical. As for creature comforts, the passengers would also enjoy reclining seats, headphones with commentary in 7 different languages, and even on-board catering. Naturally, the Cityrama became a tourist attraction in its own right, and bus drivers apparently took pride in being assigned duty in this magnificent machine. It also induced terror amongst the city's motorists. Just imagine seeing its prow loom in the rearview mirror of your Simca Aronde or Peugeot 403. 4 more similar buses were produced in the 1960s using a Saviem 105 bus chassis, but with a slightly more conventional but still unusual body. The coachbuilder Currus ceased trading in 1975, and their famed tourist bus was immortalized in the 1960 Louis Malle film Zazie dans le métro. There's so much going on visually with this Cityrama bus. It looks like it has a boat hull up front, there are tail fins in back, and the red character line turns into a massive wing above the second deck. Oh, and yes, there's a spear pointing off of the front. The Citroën U55 Cityrama Currus obviously became an instant hit with tourists. Unfortunately, the distinctive buses did run into some issues, notably with their engines overheating. Over time, Cityrama had second and third grills added, as mentioned previously, plus an oil cooler. If anything, the addition of the grills just made the buses look even more silly. Ultimately, the buses were retired in 1980 and replaced by more conventional sightseeing buses. The later buses with the Saviem chassis were retired in the late 1980s. Not much is known about what happened to the small number of buses produced, except that one found its way into a circus and another was found in a sad, deteriorated state in 2008. The writer Jonathan Glancy once described the coaches as having the appearance of being let loose from the sets of Flash Gordon. And if you really like these buses, Hachette produced quite a nice model of it in 1/43rd scale. So there it is, the story of the Cityrama U55, built by both Citroën and Currus. Now, as I said previously, there's very little information out there on these buses, so if you know anything else, if you have any further information on them, please let us know in the comments, because it would be very interesting to read about it. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this look at the Cityrama U55, and as always, thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye.